Hey, what's up out there, everybody? It's Yanni. Just want to go through some comics that I picked up on a couple different spots. Got some online, got some at a local comic store. These first two you see here, well, let me start off. I found an interesting ad on Craigslist, and if you saw my last video, I'd sold some comics on eBay, and I had a little bit of extra cash during the holiday season here. And I had a few holes that I wanted to fill, so I found an interesting ad and went to a local town about 45 minutes from me to take a look at them. And you know, I figured, hey, while I'm in the area, I'll stop at the local comic book store, see what they got there. So this was a new store that I hadn't been to yet. Kind of a nice little store, well maintained. You know, had a lot of great older stuff. It was priced a little high for me, but who knows, maybe I'll go back someday when I'm looking to fill in some of my other keys. So these two right here, they had just gotten in a huge lot that they bought off of somebody. They probably had about 20 long boxes, most of them $1. This Batman 663, that was $1.50. That was a good one I had been looking for. Not a hard one to find, but for $1.50, you know, I figured I couldn't pass that up. Of course, we know this guy over here, Batman 423, Todd McFarlane cover. Great cover. When you look at that, I mean, you can really see that cape, you know, really see the similarities between that and his Spawn work. Great cape. The 423 is the first print, which is great. This 663, one thing I'll talk a little bit more about as I make more videos is I was out of comic collecting for probably maybe about 15 years, and I came across a good deal on some comics, and it really got me excited to start collecting again. This 663 is where this was the Joker. Obviously, he had been shot in the face. He was in jail. He had been, you know, Batman knew he was up to something. Ends up he was working with Harley Quinn. You know, there's a Harley Quinn appearance in here. I'm going to give you a little spoiler here. Spoiler alert, spoiler. Harley Quinn shoots the Joker in the back, in the shoulder, as she finds out that the Joker's main goal was to have Harley Quinn killed. So that's where, you know, things got a little rocky between Joker and Harley Quinn. This is interesting too. I'm going to open this one up and take a look at it. I wanted to read the story in here, and the artwork really threw me for a loop. I don't know if I really like it. Kubert cover, which you can't go wrong with. It's great. But this is the story pages here. There's not the panels like you would see in a comic book that you and I normally know. It's basically like video game images. I don't know too much about why they went this direction. Maybe somebody else out there does. You can see Harley Quinn up there. Bam, there's where she shoots him. Yeah, maybe somebody else can fill me in on why they chose to go this direction instead of doing the traditional comic. I don't really like it as much. It's, you know, it's video animation. But whatever, let's move on. I also picked up this one here, 401 First Magpie. I don't know about her. That was kind of stuck to the back of the Batman book, and I thought, well, you know, I don't got that yet. I'll pick it up for $1. You can see at the top there, the Legends crossover. Found one of those I've been looking for. Picked that up for $1. First Amanda Waller. Top, I was reading a little bit about her, and she was ranked in the top 60 villains of all time. No superpowers. Worked with Suicide Squad. Real hot right now. So that book might pick up a little bit. I haven't really seen it going for much more, but you can still find those in the dollar bins or even less. I found one in the 50-cent bin I'll get into later. So keep an eye out for that one. Here's another one that's still Found that for $1. Hulk 324. This is what they call the second appearance of the Gray Hulk. The first, the original Incredible Hulk, like the miniseries 1 through 6. That was the first book. He was gray. And I thought I remembered hearing a little bit about why that happened. Ended up reading a couple of those. I found some scans of the pages online, and I thought I remember hearing something that it was with the ink, and the first half of the book he's gray, then he turns green. Well, of course, Marvel eventually they came up with a reason for that, other than that it was the ink. It was that as he got more testosterone into his system, he turned green. Well, originally Stan Lee, I guess, wanted him to be gray. And, the green took over, and I guess that was the more popular one. So this is actually just they brought him back. And, there's been a couple different colors. I'll show you another book I got later. Firestorm 23. This is a nice little book. First appearance of Bug and Bite, actually. Sister brother team, Bug and Bite. First appearance of Bite. Avengers 263. This starts off the X Factor series, or story arc, which leads into X Factor #1. X Factor's not in here, but this does have the Melter. This is actually the death of Melter, and he actually gets killed by his sidekick. He showed up in a couple books. Kidnapped Iron Man, had him make him a more high-powered melting gun. Interesting, I guess, for some people. Silver Surfer. What issue number is this? It's kind of hard to read. 112. These Silver Surfers, anything over 100, they're kind of hard to find. I got this for 50 cents. Some of the 90s, the late 90s stuff, they started doing real small print runs of them, as opposed to the early 90s stuff when they were doing a million copies or 500,000 of stuff. So this one, if you can get anything over number 100, you may be $5. I don't know. I never go through long boxes looking for them to see what they're priced at. But if you can find them in a $1 or 50-cent bins, I got this for 50 cents. Might as well pick it up. It's got some, Perez in here. He just is doing the story. He doesn't do the pencils in this arc, but the pages on it are really nice. Great colors, and I do like the artwork in this book. Earth 2, #2, DC's second arc. This, I got a little education on this one. This is probably about an $8 book, but this red cover is the second printing. I didn't know that, but it's still, it's worth more than $1. And if you can find Earth 1 and 2 for $1, you've scored on those, more or less. How about these? Kind of a hot book right now with Captain America. The Crossbones series here. First Crossbones on the cover. Got all of these for $1 each. These are worth $5 to $15 maybe each, depending. Real great condition. Not mad about those. Went over to the quarter box in the store. Just saying, I started off there, figured I'd start low, see what they got. And I was very happy to find some books that I had been looking for that I knew I could find cheap if I kept looking, but I didn't want to pay full price for them. Bam! Booster Gold #1. Kind of a hot book right now. It's not expensive, but I got it for $1. Maybe $5 online, maybe a little bit more. They're kind of hard to find. People have been snatching them up, and I can find some in the middle of the series, but $1 for Booster Gold #1. I mean, it's great condition. Also got this guy for $1. Omega Man #3. This book's been, first appearance of Lobo. It's been hot for, it's been known for a long time, since Lobo was real popular in the 90s, kind of fallen off. starting to come back a little bit now. So are the whole Omega Men are starting to get a little bit more popular. But that's a $15 book for a quarter. Again, great condition. I was really happy to find first I found this book, Megaton #2, for a quarter. It's got, Megaton is not drawn by Erik Larsen, but there's a story, Vanguard was an Image character as well when they started for a little while. Vanguard is in this book, kind of a alien looking dude with two knobs coming out top of his head. And what's weird about this is Vanguard's story is the first story in this book. So I don't know if they knew they were onto something with Erik Larsen or what, but I saw that and I thought, man, cool book. I've been looking for it. You know, I didn't want to pay $5 for it. I was really hoping I'd find this. There it is. That was right behind it. Great condition. Megaton #3, first Savage Dragon. There's Vanguard. There's his knobbies coming out of his head. So, Vanguard versus Dragon, but it's in the Megaton book. That's the first appearance, and then this was behind it too. So I figured might as well pick that up. Megaton #4 for a quarter. You know, got these three for 75 cents. You know, this book here, I looked on eBay at the sold listings. You always got to look at the sold listings. You can't look at what people are listing them for. Sold listings, I mean, that's going anywhere from 12 to 25 bucks. So I was happy about that. I got some other stuff from this store too that I'm planning on flipping. So I'm just going to make a separate video on that, just to kind of show what I keep an eye out for when I'm looking to resell stuff. So let me get those out of there. Next two lots I got, these are from on eBay. I don't remember how I ran across the seller. He's probably selling something I wanted, but I didn't end up getting it, I don't think, because I wouldn't have bought these comics otherwise. Batman and Robin 19 from New 52, Red Robin. This has the first appearance in the New 52 of Carrie Kelly, who played Robin, or who was Robin in Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. So, woman obviously playing Robin. This is when, in the New 52, this is her first appearance. Got that for, well, I'll tell you how much I paid for these when I'm done. Teen Titans 18. Red Robin. Kind of a grim cover there, holding, this is obviously after Robin had died. This is same story arc. And, you know, Damian, which dies in Batman 665, I think it is. 65 or 55, can't remember. That's a good book if you can find it right now. Tim Drake, just kind of weird looking. He had a hard time with it, obviously. Check these out. Creatures on the Loose. You got the full run of Thonger. We all know Thonger, you know what he went on to do after issue 29 was the last issue of Thonger and Creatures on the Loose. You know, after that he went on to do nothing. That's just the only comic book he's been in. I was looking into the history of it a little bit, and they kind of speculated that this was they probably brought Thonger on to capture the Conan and the Cull kind of popularity at the time. Creatures #10, which is the first issue in the series Creatures on the Loose, is the first issue of Cull Conquer. That's a good book. I have that. Got lucky on that one. Someday I'll go through a nice score I had. Probably the best score I'll ever have in my life. So these books right here, I got 10 books with shipping, and including all these great Creatures on the Loose. I mean, these are in really nice shape. All those. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention is, you know, the covers on these, not the pencils, but just the covers. Actually, I don't know if did I get number 21? Oh, Yeah, that one. Steranko cover. You might know him from he's one of my favorites. His most popular work is probably Nick Fury, Shield, the first series. Just some awesome covers on those. Classic covers. So it's got one Steranko cover, and what else we got in here? Oh, John Romita. John Romita did a bunch of these covers, and so did Gil Kane did one. I mean, so for all those, I paid $6.25 for 10 books. So 65 cents a book, even for all those great creatures on the loose. No, that was off of eBay. That was a good experience I had. I usually have pretty good experience off of eBay. Here's another lot I bought. I'll show you that was the book that I wanted, Amazing Spider-Man 312. I just needed that to fill in a little bit of my run that I'm trying to put together. That's probably the one I'm collecting the most. I think it's got the most value and most collectability and great stories. McFarlane, obviously, Green Goblin. Green Goblin versus Hobgoblin. Green G versus Hobo G. So I knew I wanted that. I won that. And I said, let me see what else this guy has. And that'll be in one of my videos I'll make later, talking about how to up your sales on eBay. So came across this one, had a couple bids on it. Tick number 1. Now this is the second printing, red cover, and it's not a bad book. I paid, I think, $3 for it. It's got this up here though, a little scratched off on the cover. Otherwise, it's a great condition. That's a $20 book if it's mint. They ended up making 9 printings of the first issue, and there's 13 in the first series here. If you can get any of them for a couple bucks, you made out well. Hulk 371. That's the Dark Hulk, where they try and separate his personalities, and just all the bad comes out, and he's just Dale Kino cover, or he does the pencils on this. This is also Defenders, original Defenders. Doctor Strange, Namor, and Hulk. Spawn number 9, first Angelina. Paid $1 for that. Paid $1 for all these except the first 2. Evil Ernie, Straight to Hell preview ash can. $1. Evil Ernie's, they got some collectability. First Evil Ernie, you know, that's well over $100. This one here I got for $1. That's 15, 20 bucks if you can find it. Evil Ernie number 0. I picked up a bunch of these just because I think they're gonna have Resurrection number 2, Resurrection number 4. I think they'll be worth some money as time goes. People collect them. You got Silver Surfer 48 for $1. That's in a Galactus arc, which there's some collectability to them. Another one. And then I just threw in a bunch of these that I got for $1. These are all from the same seller. Exit number 1, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Just a fun book that I remember from when I started collecting. Pinky and the Brain. What are we gonna do tonight? Brain. Number 1. How about these guys? Rock and Roll Comics. You know, just some fun stuff. So basically, I knew I wanted that Amazing Spider-Man. I said, let me see what else this guy has to get, you know, get the value from shipping them, because he was shipping priority mail. You know, $6 to ship one Amazing Spider-Man. I could have bought it at the store for cheaper. So I ended up throwing a bunch of these other comics. You know, just some fun stuff to have to your collection. You know, nothing too valuable here. But going back to the original store that I went to, ended up buying some other comics off a guy off of Craigslist, and I'll get into those in the next video. Bought some slabs, some good stuff, and I got a good deal on it. So until then, keep trolling those dollar boxes.